Hey everybody, it is 1 o'clock on day 2 of round 2 of the virtual skincare festival. I am Jenny, this is Lipgloss and Aftershave, and we have a very popular topic that we are about to discuss.
So
But
thrilled.
before we do that, we've got a few housekeeping things to take care of.
I'm just here to clean. I'm just the housekeeper. Housekeeping rules. So first of all, you guys, we have a really savvy Zoomer who's presenting. So if you have questions, she's going to monitor the question and answer box. So put the questions in the question and answer box, not in the chat box. In the chat box, you can say things like, hey, how are you? Love this. Barry and Jenny are great. We think CBD is the most amazing thing in the world. But in the Q&A, that way what happens is she can delete them as she answers them and stay on top of it. Couple things is super excited. We are having another few festivals. These have been so much fun, such great response. So we are going to be doing a webinar on Friday, the 10th of April at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time called Sell From Your Sofa. So brands are doing drop ship. So we're here to help you learn how to use digital, how to use Instagram, Facebook, emails, blogs, to sell so that you can make orders and send them to these dropship companies. Then we're doing an entire day of webinars where we are focused on the comeback, opening the doors. I don't want you guys opening the doors and then just rushing to do a huge discount to get people to come in. So what we're looking at is working with a bunch of women in the industry who are savvy business consultants. So on Earth Day 4/22, we are going to be doing the Earth Day virtual skincare festival, Grow in the Comeback. So exciting to have Darcy Zebinarde, Taz Jamal, Caitlin Durning, Julie Pankey, Maxine Drake, Carol Phillips, and Lori Crete for a full day of business building tips on how to come back, open those doors, and really do it strategically. As Taz says, we're looking to pivot to profit. I am so proud and excited to introduce to you guys Ashley from Elmore Mountain, and that is a CBD brand that I met at Spa Hive in Connecticut last year. How are you today, Ash?
I am so good. The sun is shining and it's Monday, I think. And I'm so excited to help people figure out ways to vet their CBD brands. There's a lot.
So you guys, it's really like CBD is become the most intriguing topic in our industry right now. And there's so much that can be, well, wait a minute. If I get 1,000 milligrams of a tincture, but it's this and then it's that, is it really, like, how do I, like, what? Like, what am I selling? What am I using? Am I gonna get high? What does that mean? Does hemp have THC? Does marijuana have CBD? Like, what do I don't know what I don't know. So I was like, hey, Ash, you want to come on and talk about it? She was like, 200%. So what we're going to do is we're going to close off our windows and I'm going to give it over to Ashley from Elmore Mountain. By the way, you should know that my Elmore Mountain CBD balm and my Elmore Mountain lavender massage oil is sitting next to my bed, and I take my lavender CBD and I put it on my neck and on my, like, all over my neck, my chest and my arms right before bed. And then I take my CBD balm and I do my cuticles right before bed. And I get the most relaxed sleep. So just a shout out that I love Elmore Mountain and I've used them and they're a great company. So I'm going to give it over to you guys and we're going to mute and just have a good time.
Perfect. Thanks, Barry. All right. Thank you guys so much and welcome. I see so many of you, over 100. Oh my gosh, you guys are crazy. So my name is Ashley Reynolds. I'm the president and co-founder of Elmore Mountain Therapeutics. I want to get that right out of the way because today's talk is somewhat about Elmore Mountain, but it's mostly as examples of some of the products that we make. But I really want to emphasize an advocate side of some of that. What I wear is like a hat as a CBD advocate, and really bring you guys the knowledge of how to build out a vetting system for if you're thinking about bringing a CBD brand into your retail or into your home or into your spa. So we started Elmore Mountain Therapeutics in May of 2017. That is an important thing to know because we didn't just pop up when the craze of CBD happened. We really felt like this was something that I was taking personally, and I was seeing a lot of relief from my postpartum anxiety and insomnia, and I didn't really have much of an appetite before taking CBD due to anxiety, and so I was taking it as my own therapeutic use of trying to avoid pharmaceuticals to help curb my anxiety. And I found so much relief myself. And then I started telling others about it. And again, this was back in 2017. And I didn't really feel like there was a woman out in the world that was a mother and also a healthcare professional talking about the use of CBD. And so I went to my husband and I said, I want to start a CBD brand and I want to make sure that we focus on women and education and transparency. So now, here we are. Coming up on 3 years. It's been a really wild ride. COVID-19 starting off our Q1 is nothing short of unexpected, like it is for all of us. But being in cannabis is something where you really have to learn how to pivot all the time. So, I don't think anybody could prepare for a global pandemic, but I think that being in cannabis has helped us understand that you sometimes daily, sometimes hourly have to weather decisions and weather storms because it is a budding industry and because it is a rather still controversial plant. So that being said, we've been in operation for 3 years, and important when you're looking at your brands. So you want a brand that has some legs, that has some traction and has some groundswell and has some notoriety. All CBD is not created equal. You do get 10 points for putting your CBD into your products, but then what? How do you sell it? How do you know what is really in the product? How do you know what's effective? How do you know which modality is right for you? So that's where we're going to get started here. So you've gotten the clearance from your insurance company, and you've gotten the clearance from your property and the clearance from your credit card processor to bring CBD in. So those 3 things, your insurance company, your property, and your credit card processor has said yes. Before you ever call me or email me, they've already said yes. So that's exciting. That means that your industry and you're going to welcome this into your practice or into your spa. The first things that you really want to get to know when it comes to vetting your brand is how long they've been in business. So we've covered that. Can they provide proof of insurance? So does the CBD company have product liability? Do they have general liability? So this is an important thing to note. If for some reason there's an adverse reaction with your client, that you have some insurance to back you up. Number 3, what quality assurance do they have? So we live in an industry that is brand new and it is also not regulated. So there are no requirements for CBD brands. I'm going to repeat that. There are no requirements for labeling or for quality assurance. That's really scary. As a mother of 2 and also a healthcare provider, I want to know what's in my product, and I would like some lab results to verify that. But because we're not regulated and because it's not required, it's more expensive and it's more time consuming to provide that information. But we thought, when we started 3 years ago, that if we were going to have any validity, that we really needed to show transparency. And then I really feel like transparency relates to safety for me personally. So what is quality assurance? What are you looking for? First and foremost, you're looking for what THC content is in that product and what CBD content is in that product. Today, we're talking specifically about vetting CBD brands, so I'm not really going to get into too much of the ideology of CBD and of THC. But if Barry, if you guys would like me to come back, I can do just a CBD 101. So how do we figure out how much CBD and THC are in these products? So you want to look for a batch number or a QR code. So I'm going to show you what we do at EMT. So I'm going to bring this up to the window here. So that right there is a batch number. It's backwards, but that's 47. And that's on our tincture. And then this here is on our topicals. You'll see this batch box on every single product that we make. That corresponds to 2 lab results. So if you go to our website, underneath right at the top, which again, this is something that you should see in your CBD brands, is that they don't bury quality assurance. So it should be at the very top of their menu bar. So on our website, emtcbd.com, you'll look under quality assurance. Under that drop-down window, you're going to go and see all the many batches of products that we have made. The one that I'm referencing right now is 47. I think we're up to 48 right now. There is a lapse in our purity testing. So let me focus on the potency testing. Under potency is where you're going to find CBD and THC and all the other cannabinoids that are in that product. But for simplicity, we're going to stick with the CBD and the THC. So when you're looking at that lab result, you want to make sure that the THC level is under 0.3%. I'm going to say that again. You want to make sure that the THC level is under 0.3%. That is the maximum allotted amount of THC that we can have in any CBD product that is deemed a CBD product by the federal government. That is the only requirement that we have as a CBD company, is that we don't have more than 0.3% THC in our product. If we do, that is called cannabis or recreational marijuana. So it's really important that that number is there and it is under 0.3%. Also, when you're looking at your CBD content, you want to be able to calculate how much CBD is in our product. Our 1 ounce tincture here is 1,500 milligrams. And that CBD number that you see on these lab results is going to help you correspond to how much CBD is in that product. That should also be on the label. So it shouldn't just say CBD. It should say the amount of CBD that is in the product, and it should be able to verify in the lab results. So that is potency for labs. And then purity is a really big one. Again, a lot of CBD companies have the potency, but they don't have purity. Now, purity is how and if there are any irritants. So we're looking for pesticides, we're looking for herbicides, we're looking for heavy metals. There are acceptable amounts of those things in products, but you want to be able to verify, is there any of that in these products? And so if you look under our lab results here for purity, hemp or cannabis is a bioaccumulator. So anything that you put in the soil or put on the plant while it's growing is going to go into the flower. And the flower is what we use to make the CBD extract, which is then what's getting used to put into your value-added products. So again, to recap, really important that there is quality assurance. Quality assurance are lab results that have potency, how much CBD and THC are in the product, and purity. What else is in that product besides CBD and THC? This is a wellness product. This is a therapeutic product. This is not something that if you take it and there's heavy metals in there and you don't know there's heavy metals in there, and that could potentially creating a toxicity in your body when you think that you're taking a healthy supplement like CBD. Again, require that of your CBD brands. It's not something that everybody does. It's not something that we're required to do, but it's a really great way to sift out any of the real crap CBD, because let's face it, CBD is not created equal. So we talked about COAs, we talked about the milligrams of CBD, we talked about the percentage of THC that you're allowed to have. Another thing I just want to give you guys a little pro tip here about CBD and THC. So the word full spectrum is something that you're going to see on our label again here. So this right here says full spectrum. What that means is that we have the full spectrum of cannabinoids, or that we have a product that has CBD and THC in it. Really quickly, the reason that we put THC in our product is because it extends the efficacy of the product. So you take CBD, great. If it doesn't have THC in it, that CBD product isn't going to work after about 6 weeks. Therefore, you're going to have to take more of the product for it to work the same amount as it was before. So we call this in the cannabis industry the entourage effect. So if you can, there's really only 2 states that you can't have a full spectrum product. That would be Idaho and Louisiana. All other states, you can have THC in your products. And I highly recommend that you put THC in your products. Again, under that 0.3%, because it's not just me. This is clinically verified time and time again that you have to have THC in a CBD product for its long-term efficacy or its long-term ability to work. So let's talk about, and also making sure, like, labs are great if they provide them, but making sure that they're easy to find and easy to read. Again, if you head to our website, emtcbd.com, you'll see quality assurance right at the very top of the menu bar. This is something too, like having those lab results at the top of the website isn't just something to put on your website. It's something that really, in my mind, shows you that the brand doesn't have anything to hide. Brands that claim that they're organic, brands that claim that they are full spectrum, brands that claim 0 THC, prove it, prove it, prove it, prove it. If you don't prove it, it's not true. So beware. And a lot of this, guys, is going to be me saying buyer beware. So next, let's go into where is the CBD sourced. So you think that, the CBD that you're purchasing from a US brand is also coming from the United States. That's not true. There's a lot of very inexpensive CBD coming into this country from all over the world, and they don't have guidelines. We don't have guidelines. So let that be sort of nerve-wracking to you, that you want to be able to know where the CBD was grown before it was processed. So our particular brand, we source our CBD 100% from Vermont. I'm not sure where all of you guys are listening in from or watching from, but if that's important to you to support your local farming economy, then you should pick a CBD brand that is in your region. If it's in the Northeast or in New York City, I mean, these are the things that you want to look for. There's so many brands to choose from that you really have the luxury, and in my opinion, the privilege, to make this checklist of things that you want out of a CBD brand, and you're going to find it. There's so many brands that you're going to find somebody that's going to check all your boxes, and don't compromise. So where does it come from? It's also really important to know where it's grown, because there's a lot of different regulations for what you can spray on cannabis and what you can't. Vermont really prides itself on its organic measures. Again, somebody can say that they're using organic practices for the growth of their CBD, but they need to prove it, and they prove it in those lab results. I really quickly, thanks Barry for putting that in. The website again is www.emtcbd.com. Great, thank you for those. And if you guys, just as a reminder, if you have specific questions, put them in the Q&A, and then I'll pause and I'll address those one by one. So was it grown in the United States? And then what was it extracted in the United States? So this is another thing, you guys. How was it extracted? Where was it extracted? And where was it grown? And again, where is it important to you to have your cannabis sourced from? We think it's really important to source our product from Vermont because we're a Vermont brand. My husband and I are both Vermonters. We both live in Elmore, Vermont, and we really felt like we wanted to support the agricultural economy in Vermont. So that was our reasoning. What extraction method do you want it to be extracted with? Again, CBD is CBD is CBD, but you can also take this time to figure out the best way to get the best CBD. I mean, it's out there. There's plenty of brands that are super high quality and extract, and they grow with organic measures. They provide their lab results, and all of that is there for you. So go looking for those brands. We personally use an extraction method called supercritical CO2 extraction. That's the same technology that's used to decaffeinate coffee. So it's a really well-versed, well-known extraction method. It's not hard to get. It's not hard to set up. What's really tricky is that it's really expensive. It's very expensive equipment. And what we really like about CO2 extraction is that it's an 80% efficiency for the extraction, meaning you don't need a lot of biomass or flour to make the product. And it also does a really nice job of preserving all the cannabinoids and all the flavonoids and terpenes that are in the flour to go into your extract. one of the most important things that we need to know about supercritical CO2 extraction is that it's another arbiter of quality. So I mentioned that 80% number for efficiency. So that extraction method is concentrating desired compounds like CBD and THC, but then it's also concentrating undesired compounds. So let's say your farmer is claiming that it was organically grown CBD or cannabis or hemp, and they bring you the flower and the flower looks like it tests out clean. You run it through a machine that can concentrate at 80%. You're going to see if there's any other impurities in there because you're concentrating at such a high percentage that if there's any trace amounts that could be in there, you're going to see it because of that extraction method. So does that clear for everybody? So supercritical CO2, the reason we use it is that it's very efficient. It does a really great job of preserving all the terpenes, flavonoids, and cannabinoids. And then it's also another arbiter for quality because you're able to concentrate all these desired and undesired compounds. So whatever you're getting at the end is what you're going to get, clean or not clean. You're going to be able to see it right then and there. So I'm understanding we should purchase local regional CBD products. My personal feeling is yes. You can support your local economy. Also, from the time that the product was extracted to when it was shipped to you is going to be a lower time, meaning it's going to have a longer shelf stability. Again, like you're going to come up with your list of things, all the things that I'm providing for you, they might not be on your list, but I'm helping you create a really, really stringent list so that when you get called with 10 to 20 CBD companies a day, you can see, are you going to get through this level 5 questions that I need to ask? Okay, you got through those 5 questions. Here's another 5 questions, and I'm going to help you build that whole list out. But yes, long story short, to answer your question, Deborah, please support your local CBD brands if you can, if they check all these boxes. So we talked about, can we get the PowerPoint on this? Yes. Skincare Charlie, if you email me and I will give you guys that email at the end, I have a whole outline and PowerPoint presentation for you guys for this. So we talked about CBD being full spectrum, meaning that it has CBD and THC in the product. I want to briefly talk about isolate. So isolate is when you have an extraction method that removes that one cannabinoid. You can isolate just CBD. But as I stated earlier, that is effective for a little while, but without THC to continue to agitate your receptor sites, the CBD that you have that doesn't have THC in it is not going to work, and it's not going to work as well. And so isolate is a powder. It's really hard to trace. It's really hard to quantify its efficacy because it doesn't have the THC in it. We talked about that. I want to see, do you have an already developed list? Yes, Shay, I do. So I'm sorry, this is one of those things of working out all the kinks when we're doing webinars here, is I do have an outline for you. So if you guys email me, which I'll provide you guys at the end, I will send you the list that's developed. Or are you asking, do I have a list of CBD brands? Please clarify, Shay. Okay. So how are CBD products stored? So this is another one, guys. Is the CBD in clear glass, which looks really beautiful? Is it in plastic? We recommend amber light blocking bottles. So cannabinoids like CBD and THC are very volatile. So if they're subjected to high heat or light, it can ruin or degrade the compound. So please look for products that are stored in glass and products that are stored in light blocking. And this is for tinctures and for massage oils. Also, are the products childproof? We use child-proof tops, if you can see those, where you have to push down and twist. Again, these are not required by the cannabis industry to provide child-proofing. But again, as a mother, I just felt like that was another measure that we could take for safety. Here's a big one. Do the labels of the CBD product comply with your insurance company? So I'll give you guys a little anecdotal background. So I just finished up working pre-COVID-19 of getting a new spa up and running with CBD products. They work with the CBD or with an insurance company called Liberty Insurance. I know a lot of you guys work with RHA, but Liberty Insurance specifically says yes to using CBD for your spa property. But then they gave me another 5 questions about labeling, about insurance, about THC content. And so, thank you, Shay. No, just a list of questions we should think about before we go with this. Yes, I will provide you with that at the end here. Or I'll send you the link to Julie Pankey's JM Pankey Associates of the How to Vet Your CBD Brand blog that I did. And this is all on there as well. And I'll send you guys that link. So with this insurance company, they were asking me, Barry, did you want to say something?
No, I'm so sorry. My internet is very spotty all week.
Okay.
It went down, so I had to close and rejoin. I apologize for interrupting.
No problem. So this insurance company was asking us if we had this portion on our label that says, these statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. So again, we were not required to put that on our label of EMT's labels. We felt as a company to put that on our labels as an extra measure to explain to people that this is a product that we know has a lot of potential benefits for good, but that we are not doctors, that we are not a regulated industry, we are not a dietary supplement. And so we felt like that needed to just go on our label as a disclaimer that basically use it as your own risk. Turns out now insurance companies are requiring that be on CBD brands labels. Okay, so it doesn't matter if that's on their website, it doesn't matter if that's on a brochure, it has to go on the label of their products. Another one was, again, this was from Liberty Insurance, was on the label verifying that there's THC in the product. So again, we put on our label full spectrum CBD extract. That implies that there's THC in the product. And then we took it a step further by putting our batch numbers on the label that corresponds to our lab results. And they're looking for this. This right here, you guys are familiar with this. This is a QR code that has to go on lab results, or they're not lab results. Also, just on the vein of lab results, just because a sentence on the lab results says free of contaminants or impurities, that is not a COA. That doesn't mean that there's not impurities in the product unless there's a potency certificate of analysis. So just wanted to tell you that real quick. But yeah, so insurance companies are going to be stiffer. There's going to be stiffer requirements. Again, this is not coming from the federal government. This is specifically coming from the insurance companies that you don't want your insurance company to drop you because you brought CBD in and that CBD brand doesn't have those those types of vernacular, like the fact that the FDA does not approve these products. You don't want to pick a brand, get really excited about the brand, get trained on the brand, then your insurance company says, no, you can't work with that brand or sell that brand. So again, all of this stuff should be done ahead of time. And then the other thing is make sure that you check your state and local regulations to make sure that they're up to date. So again, I can get into this in a separate webinar about what states can do what things. Vermont doesn't have a lot of laws, but states like Connecticut and New Hampshire, some things are okay to do with CBD, some things are not okay. Like in New York City, edibles are not okay. So again, I can spend another webinar talking all about what we can do state by state. Okay, so great. You found your brand that meets all of those requirements. You made sure, now you want to make sure that you have a really great long-term partnership. Okay, so you've checked all the boxes, the lab results are there, the extraction method that you want is there, quality assurance is there, you're ready to go, almost ready to launch. Okay, so now that you have all your ducks in a row, what is the mission of that brand? Okay, so again, CBD has been around for almost 4 years now. And so if you want, you're going to get those people coming in who want CBD, or maybe you're already getting people that are asking you to bring CBD into your property. How can that brand boost your existing brand? Okay, right? You have all of your clients, you have all the treatments that you already do, you have all the specialists that do the things that they do, that your customers come from hours away so that they can get that specific person to do that specific treatment. Why would you not want your brand, your CBD brand, to be an attraction or enhance what you already do for treatments? Okay, so is that CBD brand interested in empowering women? Is it interested in economic development or environmental sustainability? So these are things that you really want to look for in a brand. What is their mission? Do they have one? Do they have a mission? Or are they just thinking, I'm just going to get by on my products? I mean, that's great, but let's think about what CBD can do long term and what a brand can do for you long term. How are you going to market this brand? Okay, so like figuring out what their mission is so that they can enhance your existing mission of your property, making sure that those are aligned would be really great. And then how can you market it online? I can tell you right now that if you make any medical claims about CBD, that post can get taken down. If you continue to do that on your social media and website, that entire website and that entire social media page can be removed by Facebook, by Instagram, by the federal government. So it really behooves you to pick a brand that also has a marketing consultant built in to help you write the posts and help you write the content. For instance, in Connecticut, you can't have CBD on your spa menu as a treatment, but you can sell it in your spa and then have a customer purchase the product retail, bring it into a treatment room and have it used on you in the treatment room, okay? But you can't put it on a treatment menu in Connecticut. If you don't know that, or didn't know that as a Connecticut retailer, you could get yourself in a lot of trouble. And then what's stopping the FDA from shutting you down? You've already created, these 20,000 followers that follow your spa and follow your retail space. Why would you want to risk having that shut down to then have to start all over again? I've seen it, peeps. I've totally seen it. And it's sad and it's not worth it. And I want you to know it's not because they weren't warned. I've personally called some of my retailers. I mean, this was kind of early on when I was training people in the beginning, but I've called many of my retailers and told them to delete posts or edit posts because it's really tempting. We hear all these testimonials. We know that CBD does X, Y, and Z. We've seen it with our own eyes. Maybe we have our own personal testimonial about it, but you can't make medical claims. You cannot make medical claims. It's just not worth it, and it's not worth having your social media and your website shut down.
Can I chime in for a second?
Please.
Can you give us some examples of medical claims that people were making that were inappropriate? Like, are you allowed to say it reduces anxiety, reduces calm, or like things like that?
Right. So great question, Barry. Thank you. So things that I have seen is that a CBD enhanced massage is going to reduce pain, is going to help with chronic back pain. Taking CBD is going to help you sleep, is going to relieve your anxiety. Like, although we know that those things are potential of taking CBD, we know that, myself included, as somebody who takes CBD every day. Barry, I know you take CBD, like, we know that it does that. It's just that the federal government is not signing off on the fact that it's doing that. Therefore, you can't say those things. What you can say is, oh, go ahead, Barry.
No, I was going to say, like, aren't there workarounds though? Like maybe like, totally. And maybe you have some, are you allowed to offer the recommendation of a workaround? Because it's like, while you can't say you'll sleep better if you take CBD, can you say something to the effect of, studies have shown people who use CBD find an improvement in their sleep?
Okay. So here's the two things that I really like to tell my clients to use. When it comes to taking a tincture, so here, this goes under your tongue, you swallow it, is that we know that we have an endocannabinoid system. We know that CBD can supplement, meaning it can it can support our endocannabinoid system. And we know when there's a balanced endocannabinoid system, we have a reduced amount of inflammation. So I'll say that again in a simpler 2 sentences. Yes, CBD can help us. It helps our endocannabinoid system reach its optimal level of function, and its function is balance. That's what you can say when it comes to a tincture. When it comes to a topical, like a CBD massage, or using like a balm, or even, you know, talking about using CBD in a facial, it can enhance the effects of a massage. Okay, it's super ambiguous. We know that massages are relaxing. We know that we can get ease of muscle irritation as a result. We know that it can enhance a facial. We know that we have an endocannabinoid system on our skin, and endocannabinoid receptors, and we know that those cannabinoid receptors can get inflamed because of dysregulation. And we know that CBD can help balance cannabinoid receptors because there's an endocannabinoid system there. So again, bringing it back to the real basics of the endocannabinoid system, and that we know CBD can help support it. Just like anything, like vitamin C can help support your immune system. Like vitamin D can support your bone growth. It's a real basic connection that you can make for people. What you also can do is you can provide personal testimonials. So if you are a esthetician or a massage therapist, you know that your clients are going to ask you, what do you use? You then can say, I use this for this. I use this for that. That is totally fine, because you're saying, or perhaps you're offering, I am not a doctor, but this is what I take it for, and this is what it does for me. But again, then you're leaving it up to the responsibility being on the client to use it or not use it. It's not about you selling them on the product. It's just you are saying, this is what I use, but hey, if you want to try it, try it. It's worked for me, but you're gonna have to see, you know, how to use it on yourself if you want to see how it works for you. Keeping it very general.
Could you literally put a quote? I slept much better when I took this CBD tincture. Quote, name of client, and then put that on the post for a tincture.
So that's really tricky. That's a really good question, Barry. So I personally, with my brand, only sprinkle that into my marketing. That is not my main focal marketing point, because 5 large national CBD brands last year all received a slap on the wrist, if you ask me, but received fines for providing testimonials on their website.
Gotcha.
Because again, that, you know, saying it verbally versus saying it in writing is very different. And again, like I said, I have started doing it, but like I've sprinkled it into my stories. It's not on my website. It's not a post. It's something that I would put very sporadically, and don't leave it up. That's another thing, guys. Don't leave up these testimonials, because anything that you put out in writing is something that someone can go to your source and then just start documenting things that you're doing that we really shouldn't be doing, even though we know CBD is doing X, Y, and Z, and we want to shout it from a rooftop. We just have to wait. And I know it's tempting. I know you're going to see other spas and other CBD brands doing it and making it seem like it's okay to do by seeing it. Because I know all of you have seen CBD brands that claim it does X, Y, and Z. I know that you've seen spas say, come get this pain relieving CBD massage. I know you have. And it's really tempting. But if the brand has real integrity, which they're out there, you won't see them doing that. So let's talk a little bit more about creating this really strong long-term partnership with your CBD brand. So I also find, you know, that you've gone through, right now with like all these insurance companies requiring all these different questions and different labeling requirements for them specifically. It's going to take a while. Like CBD is not going anywhere. It is going to take a while to vet these brands if you're going to go through this checklist that I talked about. But once you really figured out that they're brands that align with you, that can show you how to market. EMT also provides a lot of content. We've done a lot of photo shoots. We've done a lot of different ways of marketing that really work. So picking a brand that's going to help you with that. Is your brand going to train you? So I'm sure all of you who work in the spa world know that training is crucial. There's a lot of us who know about CBD. There's a lot of us who take CBD. But what are those selling points that you really can talk about with the clients, the customers? And so making sure that there is not just one training. We're learning things every day, all day in the cannabis industry. Things are changing. What was good last year is not good this year. And I can get into those details in a little bit, but I mean, there's a lot that we're learning. Like, oh, here's a good one. So topicals, for instance. So using CBD in facials or using CBD in massages, we just found out, like this was like the very tail end of last year, in Israel, who's federally regulated and federally legal, so this is why there's so much research being done in cannabis in Israel, we found out that on the skin, there's 5 times more cannabinoid receptors than there are inside the body. So I'm gonna say that again. There's 5 times more cannabinoid receptors on the skin than internally. The reason that that's so important is because the rate of absorption for CBD on the skin is only 2%, which doesn't really seem like that much. Why would you use it on the skin if it's only 2%? But because there's so many more cannabinoid receptors, it's a very tiny amount of milligrams can work amazingly on the skin because of this high concentration of cannabinoid receptors. So that technology, that clinical research just hit the world the end of last year. And now we're seeing spas that are approved by insurance companies to bring CBD into the spa. That's a perfect way to talk about how to enhance a CBD massage. Hey, that is clinical evidence. You can totally say, we know that there's 5 times more cannabinoid receptors on the skin than in the body. So we know that CBD can really enhance a massage. All appropriate to say as a selling point when talking about using topicals or using it using CBD on a facial. But again, like if I hadn't heard that information and then started telling my spas, where would they be getting that information from? And so making sure that you have a brand that is going to continuously do continuing education with your massage therapists or your estheticians is really, really important, because things are changing every day. Research is coming out all the time. Just a one-stop shop, one-time training when you first bring the product in my opinion, it is really negligent on both the brand and on the properties standpoint, because there really is so much that's unfolding every single day. And so again, so we talked about marketing, we talked about what you can say and what you can't say, talking about trainings, making sure that trainings are provided, that they're free. Also, they should be free. If you have a new esthetician or a new massage therapist, making sure that there is a PowerPoint presentation or some literature for them to look over if they weren't able to make the training. We do one-on-one Zoom trainings all the time with new hires to our spas. So again, that is something that you really should look at, because here's what you really want to avoid. You know that there are people that are going to come into your spa who are going to be self-proclaimed canna connoisseurs, and they're going to wonder if it's not the brand that they wanted. If, for instance, if EMT is the brand that you brought in and they didn't want that brand, or they, my brother's cousin has a CBD brand, why don't you bring that into your spa? You want to be able to stand tall and confidently and say, this is why we chose this brand or brands, is that their mission was aligned with us, their quality assurance was there, their sourcing was there, and their products work and we love them. Like, those things really should be able to be said to everybody and anybody who questions you about why you chose a brand. Another thing I want you guys to not shy away from is the fact that it makes sense to have more than one CBD brand, okay? So EMT, we don't make capsules, Okay, so you could bring in our tincture and our balm and our skincare line, but we don't make vapes, we don't make smokables, we don't make capsules. So you would want to have another brand that fits that category. And it's also important for your clients to feel like they have a choice. You know, just giving them like the one brand, from my point of view, would be awesome, but it's not realistic. It's not a realistic snapshot of the industry because there's so much to choose from. And it's not realistic for the customer to only want a one thing or one brand. So I do highly recommend that you pick multiple brands for multiple modalities.
So we are to the point where we want to really pivot to Q&A to make sure that we get like everyone's questions answered. So I can go through them and I'll read them off, and then you can read them or you can answer them. So are CBD skincare products healthier for the skin than most skincare brands? I have heard that the results clients have been getting better and faster results. I've really been wanting to try CBD products of all variations.
Yeah, so two answers. One is that remember that we have 5 times more cannabinoid receptors on the skin than we do internally. So you do not need CBD that has 1,000 milligrams that goes on the skin, okay? 25 milligrams in a 1 ounce bottle, like in our massage oil, is going to do the trick because those receptors are going to get flooded immediately. Like 1 milligram is going to flood your receptors. So don't fall victim to expensive CBD skincare that has thousands and thousands of milligrams in it because you don't need it. But to answer your question about the results, is that if you have a cell on your skin that is irritated or is in some sort of dysregulation, eczema, dry skin, any of that, you have an endocannabinoid system that wants to support it being balanced again or being healthier, or acne, that's a big one. Why wouldn't you give the skin what it wants to balance that irritation? So, you know, long story short, if CBD can balance the endocannabinoid system on the skin, of course it's going to enhance the products. Of course it's going to make the skin heal faster because you're giving the skin what it wants to heal.
Amazing. And do you your brand, do you have skincare?
We do, yeah. So we just launched a line in February for Valentine's Day. All of our body oils can be used on the skin. We do have a face serum specifically, but just so you guys know, every single one of our skincare products doesn't have more than 50 milligrams in it because you don't need it. But again, seeing is believing. So,
And what are your skincare products?
so we have a face serum right here that has under 7 ingredients, and you can pronounce them all, and they're all organic. And then we have 3 body oils. We have a rose glow, which again really helps brighten the skin. And then we have a scrub, which is also, this is our best seller.
And that's okay for the face?
That is okay for the face, which I know is really controversial. It is a salt scrub. I don't use it daily, but I use it a few times a week as my exfoliator. It's also really great if you guys are using high D makeup. So anything that's waterproof, if it is mascara or makeup, the face serum is an awesome oil cleanser. I don't know how you guys feel about oil cleansers, but I'm obsessed.
I love oil cleansers.
A lot of brands use an oil-based cleanser as a pre-cleanse.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll pre-cleanse with the oil to get off all that heavy makeup, and then they'll go in with a gel or a cream or a milk cleanser after that.
Imagine the My Skin Buddy with the CBD serum as an oil cleanse. I think that would be amazing.
Yeah, 100%. And then so you have a serum, you have a scrub, you have then you said all of your oils can be used during the massage portion of a facial. And okay, so that's good. So you got the skincare understood. If the brand has no CBD percentage, does it mean it really is not CBD?
Skincare Charlie. So I think does that mean? So what are you saying? Like it's a hemp?
They said there was no percentage. I don't think I understood the question. Let's just go on to the next one. Is there a topical CBD product that you can recommend for the pain of laser hair removal treatments?
So that's a really great question. I would recommend, so biggest thing is that if you are having any cosmetic surgery, so anybody who's going to a med spa or anybody who's having any laser hair removal, or even just like a chemical peel, the products have to be organic and they need to be verified organic if you're going to use them right after or during a treatment. I think we all know that, but I just want to make sure that we say that as I just came back from a med spa conference. That's really, really important. I think if it's pain that you're after, again, talking about these receptor sites, that there's so many more concentrated cannabinoids on the skin, a very, very low milligrams is what you need for something like that. And one that has a very, very limited amount of ingredients. Because if that stinging is happening, you want to know that it's not going to be exacerbated by whatever's in the product. So applying right after and making sure that it is organic would be my best recommendation. You can apply the tincture directly to your skin. Again, it's a really high concentration of CBD, so you're just wasting a lot of the CBD. Something with under 25 milligrams or 25 milligrams and under is totally fine to apply for the skin.
And Ashley, I just want to put your email address in the chat box, ashley@emtcbd.com.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. And it's ASHLEY.
Yes.
Perfect. And EMTCBD. Okay, I got it. You guys, just take that information, take it down, because what we're gonna do is you have a raffle that we are for anybody who registered with us for the session. They're going to be included in the raffle. For you have a whole kit that you're doing.
The whole line, yeah. You're gonna get all 5 of the skincare line.
And what's the value of that?
Oh gosh, 24, 60. Like
On the spot, sorry.
150.
Okay, great. So you're gonna get the whole Elmore Mountain line. And then are you running any specials for anybody watching who may want to email you right now in order to take advantage of it?
Sure. If you are we all are, if you are a massage therapist or somebody who works in the spas and resort world who is on furlough, please email me. I would love to send you some free product to try. It's really something where, you know, if you are looking to bring CBD in, or maybe you already have CBD in your spas or resorts, I'd love the chance to be able to change your minds about what real CBD skincare and real CBD tinctures are like. So just shoot me an email and let me know what your employment statuses are and where you guys work. And then if you want to purchase on our website, you can. I'll create a code for you specifically, Barry. I do have a 10% off. That's thank you 10. So you guys can use that right away. But because of COVID-19, we have significantly limited our operations to protect our employees and protect really the world. I do feel like CBD is an essential property and an essential product, but we really felt like operating business as usual didn't really seem ethical at this point. So our next ship date is until April 15th. But you can place orders online, but know that the ship date isn't until the 15th. But if you're in the Northeast, you'll get it by the weekend. So, but Barry, if you'd like, I could just give you an exclusive code, or I could just have folks email me and I can give them an exclusive code.
Give me the exclusive code.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we'll put it in the follow-up email.
Okay.
But if you guys are here and you heard and you have our email address, it's ASHLEY@EMTCBD.com. You can email Ashley, ask her questions, let her know where your business is at right now, let her know what you're doing, let her know what state you're located in, and she said she'll get you some samples so you can try it, because I really like this line. I really like working with it. Their oils are really nice. I've used, you put the rose oil and the lavender oil under a different label, because I think you were working with a spa, right?
That's right.
And so I won't say that, but I use both, and I really love both of them. And you say that they're good for facial massage during a facial?
They are. So we use CO2 extracted essential oils as well. So really, really, really low amounts. And then the other thing too, I just want you guys to know, and Barry, thank you so much for talking about the fact that we used to private label and still do for resorts and spas. But that is something, so EMT came out with the skincare line in February on Valentine's Day of this year, of 2020. These products have been in commerce for almost 2 years as private label spa products. So we make them all in-house. We have an in-house formulator, and we know that these essential oils are not irritating because we've never had an experience of somebody having an adverse reaction to them because they've been on the market for 2 years, just not under Elmore Therapeutics. So now that our brand is so much stronger, spas, even ones that used to have us as a private label, have switched over. So now our label is the one that's on there. And that's another thing too. I used to think that private labeling was the way to go for resorts and spas because you have the shampoos and the soaps that say the spa name so you can have a little keepsake. But I feel like now more than ever, that transparency needs to be there. That brand needs to be representing itself in its entirety so that you know exactly what you're consuming and you know that that spa is endorsing that brand because they really, really took the time to vet it. So yeah, thanks for mentioning that.
Okay, so this has been amazing. I want to thank you all. If you didn't get your questions answered or you had more questions, you can definitely get to Ashley through her email. We're sending out a follow-up email on Tuesday with all of the shopping specials that everybody, all of the session presenters are offering shopping specials. We're sending that email out and you'll have the replay option on the app, the Lipgloss and Aftershave app. If you download the app from the App Store or Google Play, just tap education, tap watch replay, and then scroll through the list of webinars that are the replay of all of the sessions from all 4 days of the festival. So Ashley, I want to say thank you so much for taking the time out of your day. I love going to bed with Elmore Mountain, so I can't wait to like get that on my lavender tonight. And that's it. Jenny, do you have any closing thoughts?
I'm good. This was amazing and a wealth of information. So even just the comments, everyone is so excited and it's such a hot topic. So thank you so much for providing some clarity.
Thank you guys.
Thank you guys.
Thanks, Jess.